Germans are fleeing Germany. I don't know why, so let's look at this. But it's true, yes. There have been more people leaving Germany than ever. I am a German. I would know. It's about Meira K. Cricket would be very happy about this. Anyways, we'll look at this. Also, please consider liking, subscribing to the Sport German so I can leave Germany as well. Anyways, we'll go in. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. Why are they leaving?
A lefty German YouTuber is now admitting he needs to leave Germany because he thinks it is too dangerous to raise his daughters there. And yes, it has begun. The left are starting to see that their insane policies.
True, yeah. But this guy refused to say, right? This like this YouTuber refused to say tell the truth about why he's leaving. He refused. He didn't really tell it. He told it like he beat around the bush and he didn't actually say the reason why he left, but we know the reason why he left. That pause is so horrible. Duck, go to Mars. There's nothing on Mars. I'll go where you are. Right? I'll go where you are.
These insane policies don't work, and this guy is going so viral because they just didn't see it coming. To think that a YouTuber with millions and millions of followers feels like he can't raise his children in Germany was just the gift that we didn't expect. Of course, let's not pretend they haven't actually come to their senses, as you'll see in this video, but we're going to break down everything.
No, they haven't, right? Remember how we wanted to send back people to Syria, but then, how do I say this? But then the Syrian leader just said, nah-uh. Like, he just said, nah-uh. You know why he said nah-uh? It's because we picked up their trash. Essentially. Right? But he really just said nah-uh.
About what is happening in Germany and why it's become so dangerous for your daughters.
And once you get children, you also think about where you want to raise them, especially if you have a daughter. I don't think Germany is a good place to raise a daughter anymore.
Yep. I remember, right? I remember when a politician literally said, right? I remember when a politician said, "Oh, women should only like go outside in groups," and I'm like, interesting. I'm kind of surprised that you say this because it's very weird. We didn't have to say that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. There was no need for that. Now all of a sudden you say this? This is very odd.
Because women in general, they don't feel safe anymore walking down the street at night. You don't have to take it from me. There's public petitions in all major German cities. Women want like vouchers for free taxi rides at night. In Berlin, they want to have like women-only subway wagons. And
the problem is that the women that ask for this are the same women that wanted these men to come to Europe and Germany. It's crazy. The same women that say that Germany's unsafe for women are the same women that invite third worlders that do not care about women and do not care about if women are safe and want to do mistreat women. They want those guys to come here. And that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. We have a very big number of people that even want the Sharia here in Germany. Just saying it. Just saying it.
Stories you hear in Berlin, what women have to endure in public transport, it's fucked up.
To think that we've gotten to a point now where women want segregation on public transport, you know, the thing that everybody claims is the worst. Once upon a time, blacks and whites were segregated. Now women are saying, please protect us from these people, segregate us, give us women-only cabins. This would have been seen as like the most sexist thing a person could have thought of a few years ago, and now it is seen as the only way to protect these women. It is mad.
It's fucked up, to be honest. You all know the reasons why it is like that. I don't have to talk about it. But the fact is, women in Germany don't feel safe anymore, for good reason. And deciding to raise a daughter in Germany is just It's not a good thought to have.
Did you hear what he said?
I wouldn't want to raise a son either in Germany. I wouldn't want that either. Remember, right? It's like you wouldn't want to raise a daughter, right? But most violence is still men on men. I wouldn't want my son out there either. I'll be honest. Even I feel unsafe if I have to go on the train. I was in the train where somebody stabbed the person working there. That already happened. I'm right. Okay, your country's full of Turks and Syrians. See, the problem aren't the Turkish people. Even the Turkish people say, keep these fuckers out. The Russians say, don't let these people come here, right? Everyone says, don't let these people come here. They don't listen. We even have interestingly enough, for example, we have a black man straight up saying, yeah, don't let these people come here. Anyways, it is very interesting. It is very interesting. And it's always the same group that does it.
You'll know the reasons for I don't have to talk about this. You'll know the reasons. Again, remember, this guy's a lefty, not in any way right wing, and he can't really bring himself to say it. He will talk about the immigrant thing, but it's now become just kind of accepted that there's a problem here that we can't say is a problem because it doesn't align with our fake values that aren't really good values. So let's just pretend that we're not talking about it and talk about the ramifications of it and say, oh yeah, the ramifications are bad. We must protect our women. Why not connect it and say, we must protect our women from the terrible policies of bringing in immigrants who are super dangerous to our society. And now we have to admit that we've made a mistake or we're not going to be able to go back.
You know, you want to keep your people safe, children safe, that they grow up in a friendly environment where they can feel safe any time of the day. This is just my opinion. But if a woman can't walk down the street at night and feel safe anymore, you have failed as a society, as a country. That's just my opinion. And it's kind of ridiculous.
And he won't say what the issue is. He sadly won't say what the problem is. Because if he says what the issue is, they're gonna crash out.
Time something happens in Germany, politicians will just say, yeah, we have a knife problem. Knives are killing people. Women are dressed wrong. They should dress differently. And it's not a small thing.
Yes, and then we will have knife-free zones. Knife-free zones. Ah, yes! No, you could... It's like... Yeah, because do not steal has ever stopped the thief from not stealing. Do not have a knife here has never stopped anybody from... You get the idea. It's like the ideas are ridiculous.
But you can also see it in the small things. You can't go to the supermarket anymore without feeling we're living in a crime-polluted society.
Here's the thing. There's this obsession by politicians, instead of just admitting to the problem and then seeing public support and accolades from the millions of people who can see the problem too, the problem being the immigration, they'll come up with literally anything else under the sun as the actual problem. By the way, guys, welcome to The Pushback. I'm Meira, your host. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to hype this video if you've had enough and you want to see some sort of a pushback against everything that's going on. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. So for those of you who don't know what Kalshi...
Which leader will leave the office this year? Keir Starmer, 71%. Friedrich Merz, 13%. Yeah, by the way, this man is not leaving, and there's a good chance, even for the next period, this man ain't leaving, and I don't like him. He is Pinocchio, he lies. The only difference is his fucking nose doesn't grow, but none of the, like, promises that he made, he actually kept up with. Damn, so Germany became a battle... It is a battle royale. It is a battle royale, depending on where you live. If you live in Berlin, it is certainly a battle royale. If you live in Frankfurt, it is also a battle royale. But there's some other places where it's also battle royale. But yeah, there's some places where you don't want to live because it is that unsafe. Anyways, it's also right. It's just interesting to see. But yeah, I do think Kirstama is out. I do think Kirstama is gone. Thank God.
Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States. It's basically a stock market for prediction, and it's federally regulated, which is always good. And it tells you what people are actually thinking, not what they're tweeting online, but where they want to put their money worth, right? So I think that this is an interesting thing to talk about. Which leaders will be leaving this office this year? Friedrich Merz, who is actually, the leader of Germany. People are still not willing to take the step to say this leadership needs to leave. They're just
That's because it's the old people. This current government is a government of the old people. No young person, no young man voted for this dude. What about Bavaria and Saxony? Bavaria and Saxony are pretty safe, I'd say. Bavaria is pretty safe, I'd say. Numbers wise, it obviously there's some problems. But it is safer than some of the more left-leaning regions.
not doing it. With Keir Starmer in England, it's gotten so atrocious that they're like, yeah, this guy really, really got to go. But in Germany, they're still lagging a little bit behind, and they won't say it. By the way, download the Kalshi app, use code Meira to get $10 off when you trade $10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Put your money where your prediction is, because that's the best way to know what's truly going on. And now, back to that video, because I think we have a lot to talk about. So this guy is basically going on and on and on and on about the dangers of everything that's going on in Germany, and like how he won't raise his own children, and yet still like is not saying overtly what the real issue is. And this is what we come back to. Good. Finally, you have somebody from the left admitting that this is really problematic.
It won't lead to nothing. It will lead to nothing. See, this isn't about skin color. This isn't about what somebody looks like. This is simply about culture. You cannot invite people that essentially say women are just here to serve us, and then expect for them to change their beliefs once they are here. That's not how this works. Right? Fun fact. Propaganda takes decades to be undone, if you didn't know, right? Decades. Propaganda takes decades to be undone. And the same can be said here. It will take decades. Their children will still hold the same beliefs, and their children will still hold the same beliefs. It takes long to undo this.
But even then, they can't bring themselves to say, I see problem. Here is the actual reason for the problem. Let's deal with that.
Like in Prenzlauer Berg, one of the best neighborhoods in all of Berlin. If you want to go and buy shampoo or a cream, you go in a drugstore, DM. You have to go in many of the drugstores in Berlin to the cashier to get them so they unlock the products because they get stolen so much. Even in the Edeka, in like a normal supermarket, they're locking up alcohol, they're locking up Red Bulls, things that cost.
Thankfully, that isn't here the case. Here, that I've not seen it yet, but I do know it exists, but I've not seen it yet. Here, that is not the case. Here, still everything is pretty normal. Dare I say, it's pretty normal. Here, it is quite normal still, but obviously, here, other places, it is sadly not normal, and it's sadly quite difficult.
$1.50, they're putting security things on them that need to be unlocked at a cashier. What?
Do you know how crazy it is that we've just gotten used to this? We've just literally gotten used to the fact that everywhere we go, products are locked up because people might just steal it. Yeah, of course, people might just steal it. And companies are spending so much money to secure the items, spending more money securing the items.
Also, people like, right, the pro-immigration people like, oh, poverty's the reason why this is happening. Okay, yeah. Let's get along with this. Let's say it is poverty. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse for crime. That is not an excuse for wrongdoing. First of all, that's incredibly disrespectful to the people that don't do this. Second of all, that's not an excuse. That's just not. Oh, He robbed somebody because he is poor. That's not an excuse. May that be the cause? Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. But even then, even poor whites, right? People like me don't steal as much. In other words, maybe there's a connection, but it's not an excuse. And I don't think we should treat it as an excuse. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. We can't just treat it as an excuse. Even if you are poor, if you steal, you commit a crime. You commit evil. Your circumstances do not justify evil.
And the items sometimes are even worse because it's just an epidemic of people who think that they can come into a place and just take. And guess what? Most of those people are not the normative, tax-paying citizens of the country. They're the people that believe they can just take whatever they want without having to give back.
What kind of society is this becoming? Another example is Christmas markets. Last year, there have been a few Christmas markets who got cancelled because they can't afford.
Doesn't matter. They're already changing the name of Christmas markets to light markets, right? So like you know, because there's lights everywhere because they don't want to offend people. They're removing Christmas from schools. They're removing Christmas from kindergartens, right? There was a kindergarten where essentially a employee faced consequences because he put up a Christmas tree. You get the idea. Trying to say it's about the people, mentality, cultures that live their country. Bad parts, Libya, you know, it's still civil war, etc. Yeah, also Nigeria, 78% child marriage rate. Cousin marriage, right? That people are trying to do here. Basically selling off their daughters to get married at like a young age, right? That has happened here as well. Forced marriages here in Germany, which is insane. They've caught like saved two girls. One is like 15, the other 12. It is happening here. And obviously you can't import people from a culture that does not align with our Western culture and our Western beliefs and morals. That does not work. Immigration is not the problem. Immigration from parts that basically conflict with our beliefs is the problem. Right? I can guarantee you, if there was a country, right, an African country that shared the same beliefs, everything the same, they wouldn't cause problems here. Right? There was a Middle Eastern country that wouldn't cause problems here. I mean, even Saudi Arabia, right? No, not Saudi Arabia. Or maybe Saudi Arabia. Anyways, one pretty big financially strong Middle Eastern country said straight up, yeah, we're importing people that don't even we want. It's very interesting.
The terror defense anymore.
Just say it. Tell us who the terrorists are. Just tell us who the terrorists are that are going after the Christian markets. Guys, it is so simple, but they can't do it. Just say it. Will he say it? Please just say it. Tell us why your Christmas markets are suffering from terrorism to the point that they have to get cancelled, why your women are unsafe, why your produce is being stolen while it's your celebration.
They're putting also up these barricades so our car can't drive through. The more you know. It's very interesting. Oman is a very chill country. Yeah, too bad there's a about half of all marriages are between cousins. That's still a problem. It's just weird. Sweet home Alabama.
Of your religion cannot happen. It is all because of one simple thing. Just admit it.
Because it's too expensive. It costs millions of euros for big Christmas markets to put those barriers, terror defense up. And if Christmas markets, a place of joy, the one thing people look forward to in December when it's cold and ugly outside, if they get cancelled because they can't afford terror defense, many things have gone wrong in this country. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to blame this on migration. Migration isn't a bad thing.
migration isn't the problem. But where is that migration coming? Where is the problem in migration coming from? Where is it coming from? What migration? It's not migration in general. It's migration from a very specific place. Specific places. And to really understand poker. So basically the man doesn't want to see who is, or basically just scared to say it. Both. It could either be delusion or fear.
Per se, it's just there's gonna be a few people who are doing stupid things.
I don't want to blame this on migration because I still, after all of that, after the fact that I need to leave my country because my daughters are unsafe and women are unsafe and things are being stolen and there's terrorism rampant in Christian markets, I still won't say, because I have been so deeply brainwashed, that it actually is the Islamic immigration problem. I just can't say it. He just can't say it.
True. We can look at the statistics. It's not Europeans doing this. It's not Asians doing it, particularly, right? Particular Asians, right? You won't find a high statistic for Indians, you won't find the high statistic for Japanese, Indonesians, Filipinos. You won't find the high statistic for Russians. You won't find the high statistic for Mexicans doing this. You won't. It is, though. To be fair, it is not only. I guess to a degree it is. Also, immigration from Africa. It's an issue, but it's a smaller issue. I've heard Germany going to deport ARK. If it's right, congratulations, start reviving yourself. That's not happening, buddy. Big guy. That's not happening. That won't happen. It's how some cultures want to destroy the Christian traditionalism like they do in Germany. You can live how you want, but don't destroy other people's culture. That's not what that is the issue, however. And also, there is an active war against Christianity. People just refuse to admit it. It is the biggest religion. It's also the most prosecuted.
They just can't do it. This is how deeply brainwashed these people are. He's making a video saying he needs to leave Germany because of how bad Germany is, but he will not admit what has made Germany that bad. He won't admit it. He'll probably be not so uncomfortable saying, our leadership is making bad decisions, blah, blah, but they won't connect the dots because they have been trained and they have been taught that no matter what, the personal sacrifice, it just doesn't matter how bad it is, don't ever, ever, ever blame the immigrants. Don't ever blame the Islamic takeover, even though it's purely documented that's what they're doing, because that would make you racist. And being racist is being a bad person. It is even worse to be racist than to not care about your own child. It is even worse to be racist than to not care about your own child. Told them this, so they actually believe it. He is literally on camera sitting here saying, I don't want to blame immigration. Because there's a few bad apples.
You'd be surprised. The people that don't buy this, right? The people that, so basically Christian versus Islamists. It's also non-Christians, right? There's also non-religious people also against Christianity, which is also very interesting. Because the push is obviously coming from people that are not Christians in Europe. You would be surprised. So there was an idea of making it so that if they do consider you in some way, shape, or form right-wing, that you may not be able to purchase a home. You have heard that right. Based on your political alignment, they might not allow you to buy a home. And this would technically make that the case. That would make that the case. So basically, Islamic extremists, kinda, but not really. Not terrorist groups. More like just radical Islam in general. We have about 26% of Muslims living here in Germany have radical views. And about 30 to 35% of young Muslim men want the Sharia in Germany. So there you have it. There you have it.
It's not a few bad apples. It's not a few bad apples that have made it that women want to go alone into a cabin.
And you have to select them out. But Germany is doing an extremely, extremely bad job at that. One of the bigger problems regarding that is that even if the people come to Germany to look for a refuge, they get denied. And if they are from certain countries which are considered not safe, Germany cannot send them back, even if they are not allowed to stay in Germany, if they're not granted permission to live, to become a resident, to work here, etc. So you have this huge group of people.
At first, it was told women and children. Okay. Fine. Are they genuine refugees? Sure. Now it's military-aged men. I wonder why. I wonder why.
From refugees who come to Germany, their permission to be here got denied, but they can't be deported to their home country because it's not safe there. So they can't work here, they can't do anything here, but they are here because they're kind of in limbo. And that creates a lot of problems because they can't be part of society, they can't integrate, and some of them, of course, cause some trouble. It's also understandable that if you are in this limbo, you get a lot of resentment because this country didn't accept you.
One of the unbelievable ironies of this is we can't send our immigrants back because they're unsafe in their own countries. So now we all need to be unsafe.
Why are they unsafe? Why aren't they unsafe? He won't say why they aren't unsafe. Other than I don't want to look, they can't send them back. Other than I don't want to look racist. They even made a new, see? So here's the thing, right? Our law, European law, says that we have to take refugees, but they need to stay in the nearest safe country. That's not what these people do. Their specific target is Germany because we are the financially most powerful country in Europe. That's their specific target. That's where these people are going. Technically, they would already need to stay, not even in European countries. Technically, they would already need to some of these, right? Because Morocco is considered a safe country, fun fact. Some of these would need to stay already there. Some of these would need to stay in Greece. But even Greece doesn't want them. Right? It is interesting. But yeah. Other than I don't want to look racist, that is the exact reason, though. That is the exact reason. I will not send them back because I don't want to look racist. That's it. So now we pay taxes for people that are essentially contributing nothing. And it's like, oh, these people are not integrated into society. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Where are the resources coming from? We have no teachers. We have no money for that. We have no way to make them live here because we don't even have homes for our own people. So now is the question, what do we do? Yeah, we don't. What do we do? We don't have the resources. So why pick even more so we have even less resources? It doesn't make sense. This whole thing is a disaster. It started in 2015 and it's only gotten worse. That's all there is to it.
In our country, look at how ridiculous this is. This YouTuber is going so viral. People are freaking out because they can't believe that he's finally admitting it. The right is celebrating and the left is like, he said what we think. He said what we think. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? He actually needs to leave Germany. Many more people might actually end up leaving Germany from this. This is an enormous shift in the right direction, but still it's such an indicator to the depths of the brainwashing, to the depths of the issues that we are up against. Because again, to all sane people who have their eyes wide open, you can see that these people are just suicidally empathetic, as Gad says. They're just literally willing to destroy everything because of their empathy towards the other. But they are so deeply embedded that they refuse to actually just see the truth, even when it is literally slapping them in the face. Thank you for your
Yep, that's pretty much it. That's the video. So yeah, if you're seeing this, well, Germans are still leaving Germany. It's just like one more interesting one that's leaving Germany. Yeah, it is bad, and it's probably gonna get continuously worse. Our old previous, like not the previous chancellor, but the chancellor with that, right? Merkel literally said, "Yeah, this was a bad idea." Well, now it's too late, old woman. Now it's too late. Now we can't really do anything anymore. The floodgates are opened. So it's gonna be very interesting how we're gonna handle that from now on for the future. Uh, I don't think we're gonna send them back. I don't think we're gonna send anybody back. They made it much harder, more and more harder to even send anybody back. And I think this has nothing to do, and I think this has greatly to do more so with the fact that they just want cheap workers. The problem is that these people don't work because these people will just live off of welfare. That's it. The most documented name when it comes to welfare is Muhammad. The reason that they lied about these statistics, by the way, they literally just said, Muhammad is not the highest. But the problem is that it's like written in different names. Sometimes written with a U, sometimes written without an H, sometimes it's written with an O. But if you combine all of these together, the highest rated name in people that take welfare are people named Muhammad.